Hey, and welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast, episode 47. I said Emlyn in the Mix a bit slower because my mum was watching one of my videos on YouTube and said that I say it way too quickly. I say Emlyn in the Mix. But no, it's simply, my name is Emlyn if you haven't listened to the show before or seen the YouTube channel, and in the mix. I must have been the first, one of the first channels to have that in the mix title, because I know there's a few now like Dr. Mix, although that isn't in the mix. Anyway, I digress. We're up to episode 47. How fantastic. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. I've actually got a camera rolling on this particular episode. We've tried doing the live stuff. The live stuff's cool. I don't mind doing it, but I think we're going to film it and then we'll put it up on YouTube so you can watch this later as well if that's your cup of tea you want to see, because we're playing with the Maschine Plus today and you may want to see it in action. So definitely check out the video. The YouTube channel is by the same name as the podcast, Emlyn in the Mix. Make sure to head over there and watch the video if that is what you want to see, this thing live in action. But for the podcast's sake, you'll be able to listen to it today. And yeah, we did an episode last week with the Maschine Plus, but I didn't really go into creating a beat so much. So I wanted to really just dedicate this episode to making a beat live. It's going to be interesting because if you see the video, I've got to put my hand underneath this microphone boom here. So we're going to have a bit of fun with that. There might be a bit of clanging and stuff going on, but I'll try to do my best to not make that happen. Okay, so let's get stuck into a Maschine Plus live. I guess we're doing a live beat here on the podcast using the Maschine Plus, and I'll sort of talk you through it as we go. And also, if you have any questions, I have set up a email for the podcast and the YouTube channel, which is also simply Emlyn in the Mix, all one word, at gmail.com. So you can hit me up there. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast, leave a review before you head out if you enjoyed it. And without further ado, let's get stuck into the Maschine Plus. All right, so first up, I'm in my groups here. I'm going to go through and I'm not really sure what sort of beat we want to do today. What do we want to do? Let's do a hip hop, R&B, rappy style beat for this podcast. So yesterday I did a YouTube channel. We did a housey beat. I want to do more of a hip hoppy sort of beat. So I'm going to use the Golden Kingdom group here. We'll go through and we'll find a good preset, not expansion. These are different expansion packs, by the way. Alright, so pretty classic hip hops here. I'm just going to give us a bit more volume on the Maschine Plus here as we go through. That's nice. It's kind of heavy. I like that. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we won't do like a real traditional rap beat. We'll make it a bit more modern, but with a hip hop traditional sort of vibe. So we'll select that one there. So simply all we do is load. That's all loaded there for us now. So we've got our 16 samples. I've got my velocity at fixed. So it's the full hit range. Now, one thing we want to do, they're really nice one shots, as you can hear. One thing we want to do is it comes preloaded with these patterns. So what that means is when I play it, the patterns will play. Tempo is really slow, so let's just get that tempo right. Jump into settings. That sounds pretty good there. So that's at 148 BPM. So let's get rid of those patterns, as I was saying before. So we simply hit pattern here. Again, I've just got this boom mic in front of me, so it's gonna be interesting. And we hit erase, and that last one. All right, so we're fresh blank slate here. So let's go back, and we're in pad mode here. Let's just I don't know, let's just play around a bit, see what we can come up with. So let's get the metronome up. All right, so just get my kick drum in there. Very crunchy, traditional sounding hip hop kick. All right, we'll take record off here. We'll come up with some ideas. All right, just do a simple snare in there. Now I can record that in step mode, but I'm just gonna play this in live for the sake of this video. Here we go, or podcast. All right, there we go, it's pretty simple. Take record off, let's quantize it up a bit. All right, at this point we can take our metronome off. And I'm just going to add maybe some hi-hats or some trills. I like to call them trills. I don't even know if that's a real word for these things, but let's come up with some trills for this next section. Here we go. Traditional sounding trills. Here we go. I'm going to have a bit of a count in. Actually, just find my sample. That'll do, that one there. All right, let me record this bad boy in. Here we go. All right, pretty simple. What I do want to do with that little hi-hat is just pull it down. So I'll pull out my mixer here. It's a little bit of a harsher sound, so I just want to pull it down a bit. Cool, and then what I do want to do on that little hi-hatty thing is I want to just add a little bit of reverb. There it is there. So what I can do is I can go across to my browser. This is so funny. If you're watching the video, you're going to watch my hand going under and over this boom. And we'll go to effects here and let's go with the ROM. It's a really nice reverb. There's a bunch of presets here. I'll just have a look and we'll play back some different presets. So let's play it back and we'll choose some different presets. Find something we like. Oh, I really like that actually. I'm going to keep that. Now I might just pull the frequency down, pull the mix down a touch, and a little bit of the high cut. All right, what do you think? Something simple there. We've got a very basic hip hop beat. So now I wouldn't mind going straight to our bass line. So let's pull up our next group here and we'll go for an instrument. So we'll go to browse and we'll go to instruments here. Might even just go with the FM8. Some really nice FM synthesis going on here. Now the cool thing with the Maschine Plus is we can, and you can do this with all versions of Maschine and the different Maschine software, you can search via category. So we're going to search via bass and we're just going to go all types of bass. There are subcategories like fingered and line and stuff like that plucked, but I'm actually just going to go through, find something I like we can just listen to the previews here. Oh, it's a bit harsh, that one. Ooh. I think I like this one. I guess we can change it later if we don't like it. So we're going to load that sample here. You can see it's only occupying the one space here in the bottom left of the 16 pads. Now, on the other side here, if you're watching the video, I've got my Korg micro key set up. So I'm just going to sort of nut something out. We'll play this back. I might put the metronome back on just so I can hear the timing, because even though it is a hip hop beat, it's nice to be able to hear the click track when you're trying to record down a bass line or something like that. So let's play this back from the top. All right, I think I got something there. What was it again? So C, D. All right, cool, let's go, here we go. All right, there we go, simple. Take record off and just quantize it. Quantize it at the 16th, it was pretty much in time. So it's in a C, and take my metronome off here. Now what we can do is we can go through the different bass lines. So let's we'll go through and listen to some different bass presets with that particular bass line. So I'm going to play that back, and I'm just going to go through a few and find one that really sits for me. Some of those are a bit scotchy. Bit too top endy. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, not that. Alright, I think we got something that'll do there. Now what we can do is we can also put another instrument in this group, but I'm going to actually, I'll set up another group and we'll get another instrument like keys or something like that. So we'll go through our instruments here. Let's go to the contact player and we want keys. Let me see here. Sorry, off mic there. All right, so keys, and we'll have a look at what we got. Probably just an electric piano will do us. And we'll add all the effects and fun stuff shortly. I know it's sounding pretty standard at the moment, but we can sort of add some modulation, make it sound a bit more trippy and that sort of thing. All right, cool. So let's load this E piano up here. Now, one thing I really like is the chords. If you hit chords here across, you can see on the video there. So I got chords, as you can see there. Now I can also change it from major, to minor. And then you've also got this other function here where I can do chord set. So it's actually just got some chords that are working within that major one. I can change that then to different scales and that sort of thing. Let's see, I think this is in, well, it's pretty bad, but I think it's in major. Let's have a look. You know what I might do? I might get rid of that bass line for now, and I want to get this chords in, because these chords just sound awesome. And then we can just rewrite our bass line. And that bass line, it's okay, it's a little bit boring. All right, cool. So let's come up with something really cool with our chords here. Here we go. All right. Okay, something simple there. Let's try that. Here we go. All right, right, there we go. So you can already hear there's a bass line there. So what we're going to do is we'll go back to our B group here, and we'll just delete our pattern here. It's so hard to see with this. All right, cool. And play that back from the top. Here we go. And I have to come up with a new bass line. Got something pretty simple there, so we just record that in. Here we go. There we go. All right, you see some come together now. So we go from the top here. Actually, just make sure that's quantized. Take the record off there. Go to our mixer. I might just I really like that. So what I do want to do is I just want to add a bit of a high pass filter on the bass. So there's actually no effects on that. So we got to go to our effects on that particular group channel, and we'll use Maschine. There's some nice filters on here. Yeah, I just want to take the top end off the bass because it's unnecessary. We don't need it. Now we can use, there's some of these, most of these have modulation. I wish that there was just a standard one, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There's an LP follower. Let's use that. It'll have modulation, but we might be able to just settle that modulation down a bit. Let's have a listen to that. Oh, that's pretty good. Turn the resonance down. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted anyway. Now the keys are sounding pretty boring to me as well. So go back over to our C group here, and let's add, I guess we could add a bit of modulation would be nice, but we'll go through ROM again because it actually has some sort of flanging and filtering going on at the same time, which is kind of interesting. So let's play this back and we'll just go through and just find something that works. Oh, already sounds better. Actually really liked preset 1. It's nice. So we go back and maybe just pull the mix down a touch. Alright, and there you have it, guys. A really simple hip-hop beat. What did that take us? Like, that wasn't that long to sort of come up with. You know, you have the idea, you can put it down. Now, the cool thing about, yeah, there's 15 minutes there. We came up with a really simple loop here, just using the Maschine Plus. Cool thing about the Maschine Plus, you don't get distracted by, you know, anything else on your emails, you know, updates, software wigging out, that sort of thing. It all just sort of works. It's a SSD drive inside. Well, it runs off the flash drive, sorry, the little SD card. And not an SSD, sorry, but it has RAM on board, 4 gigabytes of RAM, so it is processing or storing that audio as you load up your groups and that sort of thing, but it runs really nicely, really solidly. As I said at the start of this podcast and video, I did do a video yesterday just more or less going over pretty simply making another beat. Was more of a housey beat, the one we did yesterday on the video. That's doing really well on YouTube if you want to check that as well. But we'll put this video up on the YouTube channel as well for the podcast here if you want to check out the Maschine Plus pretty much in action. From this point here with the track though, it's pretty much an open slate. Like you could add a little lead thing over there. Maybe we could do that right now. We'll add a little bit of a leady sort of sound over that. That's all I can really think of that will work really nicely with this. And then it's a matter of just creating new patterns, and then you can go into your song mode and create your different scenes with your different patterns and that sort of thing. Okay, cool. So I think just to end this podcast off, I might just come up with a little lead line here. So we'll go back to browse. Let's go to our instruments and let's go through. I mean, look, some of the Maschine factory instruments are quite good, so I might even just have a look at that. Let's see. So we got bass synth and drum synth. Nah, maybe we just want more of a leady sound. Apologies. Massive, maybe. Oh, reactor. Yeah, let's go to reactor. And can't see from there. Piano keys. No, I want a synth lead. Here we go. Here's all our synth leads. Let's go through. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. That one there, that should work. It's sort of analog-y sort of sounding, so we'll load that up there. And then we've got it across my keys. Really nice, hey? All right, let's see if I can hopefully not epically fail, just come up with a nice little melody to go over the top of it. Here we go. So I told you we're going to do hip hop with a little bit of a different twist. You wouldn't normally have a melody line going over a rap or an old school rap track, but I thought it'd be a bit of fun, give it a bit of an Emlyn flavor. After all, you are on Emlyn in the Mix. I hope you enjoyed the podcast today, guys. Make sure to check out the video which we recorded on this podcast. Episode 47. Wow, we're really tearing through them. Now, I normally do, for the listeners that are still listening to this podcast, I normally do the news roundup from week to week, and there was quite a bit of news this week, but I'm just going to sort of push that segment back to maybe a 2 to 3, even a monthly, just because I think it's really important to spice it up a bit and make sure that these Emlyn in the Mixes are really living up to their mix name. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining me today, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. For the podcast, please leave me a review. I'd love a review. I've only got like 1 or 2, so the more reviews you can give me if you're enjoying this podcast, it's pretty simple. You can just do it on the iTunes app or the podcast app if that's what you're using, and you might even be able to do it on the Spotify app as well. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, guys, thanks so much again, and until next time, you know what to do. Keep creating in the studio, and peace out. Peace.